we continue to see a cool down in the Central Texas housing market. New data from Unlock MLS shows home sales fell about 9% in the Austin, Round Rock, San Marcos area compared to this time last year, and prices also fell to an average of $430,000. Joining us now to talk more about what this all means for the market and whether it's a good time to buy or sell or all that is Brandy Winch from Unlock MLS. Thank you for taking some time out to talk with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So first, I want you to run us through the numbers, the high points of this data. We're hearing about stuff falling, markets cooling. What's going on?
Well, in the Austin metro area, we have about a 5-county area that we monitor stats on. And while the popular Travis and William counties have dipped a little bit, the biggest one is trending towards Caldwell County. So we're kind of seeing it a little bit overall. But I mean, pretty much, you know, the markets have stabilized a little bit across all counties.
Stabilized a little bit. Let's talk about this because a lot of people think about the pandemic and they think it was so hard to get a house. Everyone was stuck at home and that meant everybody wanted to buy bigger houses and we had really low interest rates and then things changed. Right. And so when we're starting to say a cool down, is that a back of stabilization to where things are, houses are flying off the market? Are they staying on the market a little bit longer? What's going on?
Well, you got to put it in perspective. The things that happened during the pandemic were an anomaly. It was an unprecedented time, and it wasn't a sustainable or healthy market at the time that homes were being sold. They were being sold for 28, almost 30% over, market value, which was not realistic. And so looking at the trends today, even though home prices have dipped about 2.3% over the first quarter of 2025, we are still trending in a positive light compared to pre-pandemic prices. So we're still in a positive upward trend. It's just when you compare it to specifically the pandemic, of course, there's going to be a little bit of a more stabilized market.
Right. And now what you talked about there, the advantage, though, I say advantage, I say that very lightly during the pandemic, was the interest rate. Because now you're seeing interest rates in 6 and 7%, and it's so hard for people to purchase homes. What role is that playing in all of this?
It is a little bit more of a challenge with the economic headwinds that buyers are facing, but it's also the best time for buyers to enter the market. Right now, buyers have the greatest opportunity that they've had in over a decade to purchase homes, and that could be from the increase of inventory, sellers being a little bit more flexible with negotiating closing costs to help a buyer get into the home, as well as buy down their rate, which is a benefit to the buyer, and also those discount points are a tax benefit to the buyer if they choose to utilize that program. In addition, home buyers have the opportunity to build generational wealth through home equity as home prices go back up. And with the stability of our economy and also the growth, they will continue to rise at some point.
Sounds like a lot of good stuff for buyers. Not so you didn't say anything about good stuff for sellers. Why is now a good time to sell your house, or is it not?
It is still a good time for sellers, but sellers need to be a little bit more realistic in their expectations, and they need to expect that it's going to be a much more competitive market when they do list their home. And they also need to make sure that they present their home in a more strategic manner, and then that has to do a lot with pricing. They need to listen to their real estate professional, price their home for today's real estate market and today's buyer.
Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Tell us, if people want to learn a bit more about all of this, see all the data for themselves, where can they find it?
They can reach out to a real estate professional who has access to the Unlock MLS data points, and that is where they can obtain this information.
All right, Brandy, we thank you so much for taking some time out to talk with us this afternoon.